me find my way
Morning folks, welcome to Waitapu. Not much we can do about the weather, but make the most of it. Okay, just a couple of health and safety issues for you, mainly for those of you that are going into the park after the eruption. Please be very aware that you are in an active volcanic area, and for your own safety, it's important that you stay on the tracks and follow the signage, okay? Right, geysers. In the 1800s, it was estimated there was something like 130 active geysers in this region alone. For a variety of reasons, by 1970, that had reduced to just 15. The one you've come to see this morning is known as the Lady Knox Geyser, and her story starts just over 100 years ago. Now, at that time, this area was nothing like it is today. It was more or less just a barren wilderness covered in light scrub and bush. And over the back from where you folks parked your cars this morning, there was a prison camp. In fact, it was the first open prison in New Zealand. And the prisoners that were sent to that camp, well, it was their job to clear that bush and scrub out of the way and prepare the land for the planting of trees. In fact, most of the forests that you folks see between Rotorua and Taupo, including this one in front of you, were originally started using prison labour. And it was a gang of those prisoners that actually came across this clearing. But again, what they saw 100 or so years ago is not what you're seeing now. At that time, in this rock formation, all that was here was a large, beautiful, clear, hot water spring with just a little ledge around its outside. You get a pretty good idea of what you would have looked like then, but on a much smaller scale, if you look across at that rock formation over there. Now, if you look very carefully, just on the bush line, you see some scrubby looking plants, literally growing out of the rock. Now that's Manuka, or New Zealand tea tree. And round the base of the largest of them, some of you might be able to see another little rim which marks the edge of what was then another hot spring. Now at that time, prison life in New Zealand was pretty primitive. Those prisoners were over half a day's bumpy ride by horseback from Rotorua. They didn't have access to any of the luxuries of life, and certainly not constant hot water. And some of them thought it would be a clever idea to bring the camp's dirty washing down to this large hot spring that they had found here. That would save them the bother of having to find firewood with which to boil water. And the story has it that a group of them were down here busy dipping their dirty clothes into this hot water spring. They pulled them out, scrubbed them up with some soap, dipped them back in to rinse them off, and got one heck of a fright. What actually happened was this hot spring erupted. Their washing disappeared that way, and they disappeared that way. And we now know that what that did was to trigger off a chain reaction. The soap took the tension off the colder water, which is at the very top of the natural reservoir below the geyser itself. That then allowed the superheated steam and water from further down to force its way up through those cooler levels and out through the top in an eruption. And that's how we're going to trigger it this morning in a few minutes. But instead of using soap, we now use a surfactant which has been chemically engineered to do exactly the same thing, but to leave nothing behind in the environment. And once I put it into the vent of the geyser, what we should see are some bubbles forming at the top of the vent here. Then as that cold layer breaks down, the hot stuff will start to come through. All this will be pushed out, and we see the water start to surge as she builds up into that first full eruption. But before that, to get from something that looked like that to this, what actually happened was those same prisoners piled rocks around the edge and tried to make a chimney. Now the reason for doing that was for their own entertainment. In those days they didn't have TVs or any of that sort of gear. They had to make their own fun. By building that chimney, it forced the water into a narrower opening, so when they chucked in the soap, it sent a stronger jet of water, sending their clothes even higher. But then Mother Nature came along, and she actually gave her this cone shape and the white mantle that you're seeing now, and she's still doing it using a mineral called silica. Now that's in the geyser water. So each time there's an eruption, water shoots up into the air, falls over this area where it's the wind and the sun that evaporate the water and leaves behind that mineral, which has given her this shape and this colour. The geyser is named after Lady Constance Knox. Now, quite honestly, in New Zealand history, she was not particularly important, but her father was. He was a fellow called Lord Ranfurly, who was the General of New Zealand. And in May of 1903, he was out here with his family to see how that prison camp was getting on. And to mark the occasion of that visit, his daughter, the Lady Knox, was allowed to christen the geyser, and that's how the association came about. Quick bit of geology about the geyser. She's about 150 years old. The reservoir below her can hold up to 30,000 litres of water. She can play for up to an hour, and she can go straight up and straight down. So we strongly suggest you take your photos as she builds up into the first full eruption, because there's no guarantee she's going to hit that height again in her cycle. And just quickly, he can now find geysers in 3 main areas in the world. The largest cluster is in Yellowstone National Park in the United States, big grouping at a place called Kamchatka in Russia, and a further cluster in Iceland. And it's actually Iceland that gives us the word geyser, and in English it simply means to gush forth. Down here we do not call these geysers, okay? A geyser to us is a two-legged elderly gentleman, not one of these. Take plenty of photos and enjoy your day. Thank you.
越来越近了。看中间东西是一分吧？多少啊？
有可能是白色的。
我把我这个想看错了。这小妹给我洗个脸。大汤水。
洗脸水就黑了。
以前是被你
这叫脸黑，就是那种我老公不是他粉丝吗？我把我老公看的
我操！说还有屁，真的。
没想到
子弹是吧？子弹好皮。哦，鸡蛋蛋。老给我洗个脸。看我脸上有动物黄色的是硫磺。哎，你怎么行啊？你想的多。 はい。